I just finished watching the movie Fake World. It is a Nollywood movie streaming on YouTube on Lilian Afegbai TV. It is about a topic that I normally always love, which is about fake life. I'm almost always a sucker for a fake life story. Some of my favorite movies, especially Nollywood movies, are about people who are living fake lives and the comedy that comes from that and the drama, the entertainment that comes from somebody just trying to live a life that is not real, that is not their own. There have been so many movies. One of my favorite movies on Adeolu TV was called Chasing Rainbows. I don't think it's streaming anymore, that app. But movies like that, I just tend to love. So when I saw the trailer for this movie on Lilian's page on her Instagram, I was already like, wait, I need to see this movie. So I made a bingo card for the movie using the trailer, and then I sat down here and I watched it. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to talk about this, no spoilers first, but then if you have watched it, we are going to gist about in the second half of this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you do not know who I am, my name is VDK and I make movie bingo cards and I talk about films. You can find my bingo cards on vdkfilmclub.substack.com. So now getting into the movie, let me start first by telling you what the official plot summary of the movie is. It says, behind Zara's flashy posts is a broke, jobless girl battling Lagos hustle. In a city of fake billionaires and endless drama, how much longer can she pretend? So speaking with non-spoilers, I want to just start off by saying that if you haven't watched this movie and you're thinking about watching it, I would definitely say watch it, especially for Zara's accent. Lilian Afegbai plays the character of Zara and her accent is hilarious. Like, I was laughing from the first scene as the movie opens, especially that first scene. I think I would even say this, that go into this movie, watch the first scene. If after the first scene you don't laugh or you don't like it, maybe this movie is not for you. But if you're anything like me, that first scene, if you watch it and you laugh like I did, I was laughing till I was crying. I was in tears with laughter because the accent is so funny. If you like the accent and you find it funny, then stick around because this movie, you will love it. It's so funny. The second thing I would say though, without giving any spoilers, is that know that this movie is kind of a two-parts type of film, in the sense that the comedy and the fake world, fake life aspect of it is really predominant for the first like 50 minutes of the film, for like the first hour. So that is the most comedic parts of it. That is the funniest part. That's where the accent is at its biggest. The second half of the movie becomes more of a romance. So go into it knowing that there is a plot to this movie. It's not just fake life, and you know, if you've seen the trailer, it's not only that. It's not just how we getting snatched and you know, how just fake life in there. Is a plot to the movie too, so you will definitely get that in this movie, especially if you're a person who is a fan of romance. I would also say though, just without spoilers, that the kind of romance here is what I like to call fantasy romance, where it's maybe not the romance that you or I would expect of ourselves or that we've seen in anybody's life really, but it's the kind of romance that exists in films because it's more or less a fantasy. Like, the likelihood of this happening in real life is so slim, but with the movie you go with it because it's a fantasy, it's fiction, so you can live vicariously through this character and be part of this fantasy. I would say that the best part of it for me, the place that the movie shines the best, is for sure in the comedy, especially with Lilian Afegbai's Zara's accent. That accent and the way she said it, oh my god, it was so funny. So I would definitely recommend it for that reason. As far as the acting goes, Lilian killed it. She really carries this movie. Zara is the main reason to watch it, as I've said. Saga does a good job too in the movie. I can't really tell you his character, so I don't want to give you spoilers of what he becomes in the movie, but like, he does well in the role. He doesn't really do so amazing. You don't expect like a groundbreaking performance, but he's okay. Another person that I really want to shout out is the girl who played Lilian Afegbai's cousin in the movie. She also did an amazing job, really good. I would find her name and I would like attach it somewhere in this video because she actually did a really good job too. As far as the directing, the cinematography, the setting goes, again, it's a simple movie, but I love the fact that they also did outdoor scenes, because sometimes with the YouTube movies that I've seen, or sometimes with these straight to streaming movies, they tend to only do room apalo. So every time somebody even does like an outdoor scene in a like straight to streaming film, I tend to appreciate it because so many of them are room apalo. So this movie, it's a very simple setup and like a simple story, but they utilize every single moment of it and they really show out. It's simple, but it's never boring. It's so funny. It's one of the funniest films that I think I've watched this year. I've watched a couple of movies, not all of them tend to be funny or comedic, but this one, it's actually like Zara's accent. I cannot tell you how much I laughed. I laughed so much. And when you watch the movie and you come back and we're talking about it in the spoilers, I'll tell you some of my favorite lines in this movie. Oh, that's another thing I should tell you, that this movie has so many good lines. Like, there are so many funny lines. I've written a couple of them I will talk about later, but so many good lines also in this movie. Finally, who is this movie for and would I recommend it? I would say that this movie is for, again, Watch the first scene. If you like the first scene, stay with it till the end because you will enjoy this movie. If you do not like the first scene, I don't think you will like the movie. That's what I will tell you. So definitely go and press play on the movie and then see for yourself. Now, that is all for non-spoilers. Let's get into the spoilers for this movie. I used my bingo card while watching this, so I'm going to also use it to kind of direct the conversations around the spoilers. The first bingo slot I want to talk about is fake accent is used. And again, I just want to talk about Zara's accent because it was the funniest. There is a line that Lilian, Afegbai's character of Zara, says in the movie. She says about the accent, I don't know my destination, American or British. I bet. And that is the way to really describe that accent. That accent in her direction. That accent was up a water. I'm laughing because I'm still remembering this movie. The accent is so funny and the movie is so funny. Like in its funny moments, this movie is hilarious. I also want to talk about James, the character of James Person that picks in the first scene with her because he too is doing an accent. The picking up. And I just thundered. That first scene was so funny. Like, I'm even crying again. That first scene alone cracked me up. And then when it turned out that James is actually selling rat puppies, it was so funny. And then her fighting with him outside of the place where he's selling rat poison. And then Saga comes and then she's like, this man tried to steal my $500. And that leads me to another line. I'm going to talk about a couple of lines. But that leads me to a line that she said there when she says, she said to Saga, $500 means nothing to me. I just don't like to be cheated. And then she's going outside of Nigerians. The whole and then saying it only that her accent, I was crying. Like, I laughed so much. And then that just leads me to my next bingo slot I want to talk about, which is That's a Good Line. There were this movie has so many good lines. I'm just going to read you because I have a list of some of the lines I want to talk about that cracked me up and some of the moments that really cracked me up in this movie. So every time that she said na fit move, and like she talked about her fake life saying she's moving a fit, na fit move, I cry. I would not be only fit move. I found that so funny. The other part that she said 9 to 5 and me no be friend. I said a mood real, like that is a line that I think is many people have said that and I find that to be very funny. Then she talked about a restaurant she went and the portion that they served her in the restaurant and she said about it, they feed people like less privileged. I found it so funny because that's a very perfect way of describing some of these restaurants and the portions that they give. They really do feed you like you're the less privileged. It's so fun. I just thought I love that line. Then another line that cracked me up was where she said about Osas, the man that used to rent her the cars for her to use for her fake life. She said about him, licking their hair for people who get memory loss. Like, I thought, to the point of that, I was laughing. When she said that line, I cracked up. That was so funny to me. Then there was another line where she said, I think it's when she lies to Saga's character, and she says that she owns an orphanage. And then her cousin says to her, orphanage, you will never give person 15 I just thought that was so funny. Like, and this I laughed so many times in this movie. Then my best and favorite LOL moment in this movie was when Saga's character catches her outside of the Akara seller shed and then says to her, oh, you're the last person that I thought I would see here. And then she switches it to her accent and she's like, I don't even. When she said, I don't even eat Nigerian meals. I actually died. You said that I don't even eat Nigerian meals. I wrote that. I really cried. But then what even to get a step further in that scene was when Saga then says, oh no, man, I really love akara. I love eating it with pap. Zara what is pap? Zara says, what is pap? I don't know that. I don't even eat Nigerian meals. I said that was my favorite LOL moment in this movie. I'm still crying. This movie cracked me up, man. You don't even understand. And then there's another line that because this movie I laughed too much. This is how I was laughing when I was watching this movie. There's another moment when she says, God of Regina, where are you? Like, hashtag relatable. Then when she's calling him and she says, Kama, stop it, you need to change. I was like, look at Pot calling Ketsu Black. This is when she's calling Saga a Kama, where he's not even a scammer. And she's like, you need to change, you need to stop scamming. And I'm like, Pot calling Ketsu Black. That is funny. There's another moment when she says, history is not a good idea. When he's trying to remind her of the things that she did. And she says, history is never a good idea. This movie had lines for days. Like, I was cracking up. So that was funny to me. Those are a couple of the lines that I wrote before. That's a couple of the lines that I wrote that really cracked me up because I found them so funny. So that's that about the second bingo slot. The next bingo slot I want to talk about is a car accident happens, and then I want to talk about the second half of the movie, which is the romance between her and Saga. So I get at this point, after the car accident, is when we now realize, that is when he now tells her that he has to come and work. That she has to come and work for him as his maid in order to pay off the debts for the car that she bashed. And so their love story began. And I thought the love story, especially at the beginning of it, it was still really like comedic. Like they were they were intermingling the comedy with the romance. And then towards the end of the movie, it really now becomes romance. The love story was, again, for me, the best part of this movie was the comedy. The best part of it was the first half with the fake life part of it. The romance, I guess, was to just also let it not be like this movie and just comedy with nothing. Make it also add something inside. So I would say it did that. It gave the movie a roundedness, especially if you're a fan of romance. They also leave with something. It wasn't like, as I said in the non-spoiler portion, this is a fantasy romance for me. Like the idea of because again, fake life actually getting you a rich boyfriend that will now really come and already have a room that he already has designer things from his late sister, and then he's now willing to give you all the designer things and buy you a car after all the things we don't do. It's so, where would you ever actually see this in real life? If you hear this to me, you'll be like, use jazz for like, it's so unheard of. But again, in story and this type of format, it's like, okay, let's just get into it. It's fantasy romance. The likelihood of it happening in real life is so rare, but in film, okay, so it was fun in that way. Then the other thing that I thought was kind of weird was when he said, you remind me so much of my sister. And that was the reason why he kept on trying to be romantic with her. I was happy when Zara called it out and said, am I just here as a replacement for her? Which was also kind of weird because what was your relationship with your sister? Like, why is it that your romantic partner is reminding you so much of your sister? Like, I get it, which is why, again, I like that they addressed it at the end where he was like, okay, she was a part of me, but you're something else. Because I was like, okay, it would have been weird if you were really just having this girl as your lover, as a replacement to your sister. Like that, those relationships are very different in my mind. But when he then clarified it, I don't really assured her that like, oh no, I love you for you, and my sister is my sister, and that's a different relationship. I like that the screenwriter saw how weird this could have been and then cleared that up by the end of the movie. So I thought that was nice as well. Ultimately, the ending, her fake life has gotten her a man and everything. Fantasy romance, we end the movie. Ultimately, this movie was really funny for me, especially for a simple film, just a nice comedy that I wanted to just watch and just have a good time with. It really, really, really satisfied me in that way. Like, I had a good time watching it. I laughed so much, especially in the beginning, like the first half where it's just the comedy of her fake life. I laughed. So I was actually crying. Like, I laughed so much. So congratulations, Lilian Afegbai. This is, from what I see, because I follow Lilian Afe, and this is her biggest YouTube release so far. So congratulations on that, Lily. Like, I see why this movie is so funny. And if you haven't watched it, I would encourage you to watch it. And if you have watched it, what was your own favorite line? What lines really made you laugh? What was your favorite moment in the movie? I want to hear all about it. Just me your thoughts, because I really had a good time watching this movie. Thank you so much for hanging out with me talking about Fake World. For all my movie bingo cards for this one and all the other movie bingo cards that I've made and I will make, you can find them all on vdkfilmclub.substack.com. Until the next movie, have the wonderful rest of your day. Bye.